This is Counting Blue Cards by Dishwalla. Before you get started, you'd like to make sure that your guitar is in standard tuning so that you will sound just like the recording when you play along. This whole thing is based on power chords and open strings. Now, the way you make a power chord, just briefly here, is you're going to use your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string, and pinky on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And you're going to strum only those 3 strings. Now, what we're working with here is a movable chord. See how I can move it around using the same finger shapes. Just moving my whole hand. And the 3 chord shapes we're going to use are the 2nd fret, 7th fret, and 5th fret. Now, what we're going to do along with that is this thing with the open strings. To fill in the extra notes and make it sound a little more grungy and things like that. So here's our pattern. We're going to start with our first chord, and we're going to do down, up, down. From there, we're going to go open first, then open second. Then we're going to move it up to 7th fret, 3 of those, down, up, down. And here we're going to go. And slowly what I did there was 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string, back to 2nd string, and then 1st string in this rhythm. So that whole segment. Then we're going to move it down to 5th. And what I did there was this one 3 times. Open first, open second, open first, open second, 4th string, 3rd string. So we have and from there, for our 4th measure of it, we're going to go just 1 5th string note, 3rd string note after that, 4th string, and then these 2 together, 1st and 2nd. So that whole segment. And from there, we're going to move it back up to 7th and do 4 of those, all in down, up strokes. And then it begins again, except this time around, instead of going like we did the first time, we're going to go, which is alternating between open first and open second. 3 of those. The rest of it's the same. So I'll take it for you really slow here so you can see it note for note and explain it as I go. We have 2nd fret, 7th, 5th, the rest of the 5th, 7th, 2nd time through, 7th, 5th, the rest of the 5th, 7th. And up to speed. And then it's into the verse. So there we go. There's the intro to the song. Let's move along now to the first verse. Okay, this is the first verse to Counting Blue Cars. You're going to find this has some real similarities to the intro. So parts of it we're just going to breeze through. Other parts I'll point out the differences. And what I'll do is, like before, I'll play it along with the music for you once so that you can see what it looks like as my hands move along with the recording. And then we'll go over it note for note. A little note here, in the first 8 bars of the verse, there is no guitar, and I'll point that out to you, and then we're going to come in and the whole thing starts just like the intro did, except here instead of doing 3 strums, we're just doing 1, and then we're going to alternate between first and second strings. So we have, next we're going to jump up to 7th fret. This is a little different than the intro, but it's easier. So we strum the 7th note, 7th fret note, and then open in first. Next we go to 5th fret. Here our strum is going to be just like it was in the intro. Open first, open second, open first, open second, 4th, 3rd. So we have... And then the next part is going to be similar to the intro, but just a different note. Instead of going 5th, 3rd, 4th, we're going to go 5th, 4th, 3rd, open first, open second, 3rd. Like so. From there we go back to our 2nd fret chord. Like that, same as we did a minute ago. Up to 7th. Here our strum's a little different. We're going to go upstroke, 1st and 2nd strings together, downstroke, 4th and 3rd strings together, another upstroke, 1st and 2nd together, and then a single note here on the 7th fret of the 4th string. So it's going to look like that. So when we take the whole thing, it's going to look like this. We have 2nd fret, filler notes, 7th fret, filler notes, 5th, same as the intro. Next part of the 5th, little different, 2nd fret, 7th, strums, and then silence before the chorus. So there we go. There's our first verse. Let's go on now and take a look at the chorus. Okay, here's our chorus for Counting Blue Cars. Before I get started, I'll tell you what frets we're going to be on. We're going to be on 5th, 7th, and then we're going to move up to 10th. And that's our whole chorus, and what we're going to do is we'll look a little more in depth in the strums after I play it along with the record. Okay, so here's our strum for this. We're going to go, which is down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And we do that on both the 5th fret and the 7th fret. Now when we get to the 10th fret, it's a little bit different. We're going to go. Which is down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And you really want to listen closely to the recording for this part of it. I'll play the rhythm for you a couple more times through so you can get it in your brain. There it is once, here it is again. Now the second time through this chord on the 10th fret is a little bit different. We're going to do the same thing here that we saw on the 5th and 7th again. The second time through is going to sound like this. So there we have down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Again, here's that rhythm. So we're kind of changing the second half of it to the 5 quick down up strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down, up, down, down. So when we put the whole thing together, we get this. And then to our next verse. So if you have a little trouble kind of catching that from what I just explained, what you want to do is play along with the recording, listen really closely to the recording, and then try to play along with it. Now, you can almost just feel the strum. It's easier to feel it and kind of go with your gut and play rhythmically than it is to think it out too much. Because this is the kind of thing, if you try to think of it in the terms of down ups, or 16th notes and 8th notes and all this, that can kind of get in the way because it moves so quickly. So if you go ahead and kind of feel the strum, you can get through it like that too. Alright, let's move on to the second verse. Okay, this is the second verse. There's only one dissimilarity from the first verse here. And I'm going to point that out before we get started and also play along just with that segment so that you can see where it fits in. It's going to be on the 5th fret, and our notes are going to look like this. Again, that's going to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, open 1st. And this last open 1st is going to be the first note of our second time through the progression. And it's going to fit in like this. In that rhythm. So it's a pretty straight. There's the whole thing. What we do is we have our 2nd fret note here, 3 strums when we come in. Up to 7th fret, just like before in the first verse. Filler notes. 5th fret, same riff we had in the first verse. And then here's where our difference is. And then we go back to here as we play this open E string. And then 7th strums, just like we had in the first verse, and then we stop and get ready to play the chorus again. Again, that's 3 of these. Up to 7th, filler notes, 5th, filler notes, and then our new notes, and then our strums, and then chorus. So there's our second verse. It's real similar to the first verse. And by the way, in all of these verses there's 2 guitars, and what I've come up with here is the one that's mostly in the right ear in the recording. So if you're listening in stereo, kind of focus on the right ear. The left ear is just chords that are held out. So it's easier to just make the whole thing sound like what's in the right ear, and that'll be a really good approximation of the song if you're just playing along with one guitar and trying to fit all the notes in. Okay, this is the third verse for Counting Blue Cars. You're going to find the chord structure is similar to the first verse and second verse, except it's a lot easier to play. There's not all those individually picked notes, and it's also going to have an kind of an acoustic sound to it. So you'll want to turn on your acoustic simulator if you're using an electric guitar. I'll switch to an acoustic guitar. This one's pretty straightforward. We have all power chords, with the exception of the first time through the end of it. We have a D suspended second chord. You can hear this top note, this G note, in the mix. I don't know why they went to that chord at that point in the song, because they hadn't used it so far, but they kind of throw that in there. So you can play it like this. It's just basically open 5th string, or open 4th string rather, 2nd fret, 3rd string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, and 3rd fret, 1st string with your pinky. So we have from there it's just 2nd, 7th, 5th, over and over. And by the way, this chord here could sound a lot like this too, but just to keep that G note on the top of the voicing, it's best to approach it like that. So anyway, there's our 3rd verse. Really straightforward, no more explanation for that one. Let's move along to the next part of the lesson. Here's our solo for Counting Blue Cars. What I'm going to do is play along with the music so that you can see how it fits in as I play. The whole thing starts with a little lick that looks like this. And what we're doing here is 3rd finger 7th fret, 6th string, 1st finger 5th fret, 5th string, followed by 2nd and 3rds all on the 5th string. That's 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, slide up to 9th fret, and then we have 7th, 4th string, followed by 9th also on the 4th string. So that lick. And from there we start with the main theme to the solo. So what we're going to do for the main theme is we start with our 1st finger kind of barring all 3 strings, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings. And we're going to just start with the 3rd string note with a down, down, up pick. And then we're going to skip over here to 1st string, then play 2nd string, and then bring our 3rd finger up here to 10th fret on the 2nd string. So we have, and then we repeat that with a little extra couple notes thrown in here. So this time we have for that note, and then same notes are here. And then the 3rd time, next part here, which is 3rd finger 7th fret, 2nd string, a half bend, and then pull the 5th fret. And by the way, this is a bend, release, pull. And then the same idea here on the 6th fret and 4th fret of the 3rd string. Slide down to 2nd fret, and then it all starts again. Again, this looks like this. And then we come back up here and do this again. Then there's a little lick in here. Goes real fast. Probably the only fast lick in the song. Which is 7th to 8th, hammer and pull. Like so. 3rd finger comes over to 9th fret, 3rd string. And then we bounce back over here to 7th fret, 2nd string. And then we start with this lick again. And then we end with same thing we saw before. Except here we're not going to move to 2nd. We're just going to go bend, release, bend, release, bend. So when we put the whole thing together, we get this. And there we have it. There's our solo. Let's move along now and we'll catch some of those fills next. on the 2nd fret using your 1st finger, and we're going to slide up to 4th fret. Kind of quick like that. And then our 2nd finger is going to come over here to 5th fret 2nd string. And then we're going to use our 3rd finger on the 6th fret of 3rd string, bend it and release it twice, like so, and then pull to 4th fret 3rd string using our 1st finger. So we have this. Then we're going to slide down to 2nd, and then we're going to look for our open G string, which actually in the recording is feedback, where they have the guitar kind of in front of the amp to make it feed back. In this case we don't. So what I do is I take and I play the 15th fret here on the 1st string, just for the sake of this lesson. Use a volume swell. I'm over here with my volume knob. I start with it turned down and slowly turn it up to have it emulate that feedback effect. So when we put the whole thing together, we get this. A little bit of an open string, and then our volume swell. Like I said earlier, as we were playing along with it, it's a volume swell. Kind of comes in here on the 4th fret. A real good way to handle this one is you kind of hammer on and then swell your volume over here using our right hand on the volume knob. Bring it in nice and slow. Pull the 2nd fret. Then we're going to slide to 7th. And then it all happens over again. And then it fades out on the acoustic chord to go back into the chorus. One more time, we have our volume swell 3rd finger, 4th fret 3rd string, pull, 2nd fret, slide, 7th fret, volume swell, pull, and then silence. Alright, so there's our fills. Let's go ahead and handle the end of the song next. Okay, in the end of the song, there's one little extra guitar part that is kind of back in the mix, but it drives the song a little bit and develops it toward the end. It's a chord that looks like this. It's actually just a D chord of sorts. 1st finger, 5th fret, 1st string, pinky, 7th fret, 2nd string, and 3rd finger, 7th fret, 3rd string. And the rhythm we're going to have here is this. Which is down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And then our last note is just this 6th fret, 3rd string note bent with our 3rd finger kind of up and down. So what I'll do is I'll play this whole thing along with the end, so you can see it's pretty repetitive, just that chord strummed. Like I pointed out earlier, and then this at the end. And that covers it for all the parts to the song. So I guess what's left is to play along with the whole thing.